Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to today's office hours. I'm going to be posting the itinerary in the chat here. Got some cool things to go
Hey
over
there,
today.
Ross.
Hey, Lucas, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Staying busy. How about you?
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
So, itinerary is in the chat. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat or just say I have a question, and then we'll get to you during the Q&A session. All right. So, as more people file in here, we'll go ahead and get started. We got some new features to discuss and go over today. Super stoked to show you guys this. We finally got our analytics module up and it will be released hopefully later today. We're just putting some final touches on it. So the goal of this is to have the ability to get full control over all of the analytics and everything that is going on within each individual AI agent. So if you go into your AI agents section and then you click on any bot, there's now going to be a new option called summary at the bottom. And when you open this, there's going to be a few different options in here that allow you to control the analytics that you will receive. So this is going to be enabled when the conversation ends. And right now, a conversation ends when either a new conversation is started via clicking the new start chat, or if it's a new user or just a new page, like a new refresh on the page, that will consider it to be an ended conversation. We will have a update coming out shortly that will allow you to set the time for when a conversation is ended. So for example, if someone doesn't respond after, let's say, like 15 minutes, then you could enable that as an option. So that way you or whoever could be notified with that information. So there's a few different things here that you can enable. I've got some more folks joining in here. Welcome, welcome, everybody. We're just going over some new updates to the system. We're going over, there's a new analytics tab here where you can now set and send analytics based off of these individual AI agents. So there's, like I said, there's a few different options in here. Conversation stats. This is going to be all of the basic information, the name of the agent, name of the sub account, when the chat was started, when it was ended, all that kind of the standard information. Conversational lead data. This is any lead data that will be captured by the lead section. So if you've set up your bot to capture and generate leads by capturing their information, any info or data collected will also be sent within this notification. There will also be a public link to the conversation, and you can find these conversation links manually by going into conversations and seeing the link. And of these links, you could see the actual conversation. So we're sending it in multiple different ways because people have asked that, and you can control which one you want to send. You can send the conversation link, which will look like that, or you can send the raw conversation history. Now, this is going to be formatted in JSON for the webhook, and it will be formatted as just normal text within the email. So what does this mean? Basically, if you're trying to make sure that your clients know what is going on with these conversations, you can send the raw conversation, which will look something like this, the message and the response back and forth as raw JSON that can then be imported into a CRM. It could be added as a note to a contact. Um, there's a lot of different ways that you could work with this information. Um, but we give you the options to send either or both or none, whatever you want. The options to send all of this data, you can send it via email or you can send it via webhook, which will format all of this data as, again, as a JSON. So all of this data is now going to be available on each individual AI agent. And just like normal, we do stuff in this kind of building blocks way. So we're going to have a conversation summary module coming out shortly after this, which will allow you to add a secondary prompt to summarize the conversation entirely and get and pull more information out of that as needed. So this will be out hopefully later today. We're going to be doing a release probably tonight. So this will be out with that. And that's the first new thing. And then the second new thing is we now have a ElevenLabs integration. So ElevenLabs is the place where you can create custom voices for your AI chatbots and agents. So now this is going to be available initially for full SaaS mode users where you can enter in your API key and then your voice ID. So you can go into ElevenLabs, you could clone your voice or create a custom voice, and then you could add that voice ID into ElevenLabs and then set this as the voice that you're going to put behind any AI agent. And so this is going to be voice within the chat widget itself. So this is going to be working off of the audio features that we've enabled via the advanced settings down at the bottom, enable audio features. So again, this is going to be for full SaaS mode users to start. As we get those of you who are on that plan, we're going to get your feedback and we'll update it and improve it as needed. But this will be available in the Vault section where you can add in not only your ElevenLabs API key, but also your OpenAI API key. So this is going to be pretty cool. You could make bots that have voices like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something crazy, or your own voice, whatever it may be. So excited to get this one out, and all of this will be billed directly through ElevenLabs. So we don't charge you anything extra on top of this. This is all billed directly through ElevenLabs, so you guys can use the functionality for this fully without any extra charge from us. Just as we do everything, we're going to be introducing this as an additional thing that you can make money on. So as we improve this with the feedback from our full SaaS mode users, we'll be adding this as a billing module to resell to your clients. So you'll be able to make money based off of the roughly, probably it's like the amount of minutes or seconds of voice, something like that. We'll have more updates on that shortly. So those are the two main updates that we'll have in the next release, hopefully tonight. And yeah, any initial questions about any of those two things that I just mentioned, either the analytics or the ElevenLabs integrations?
Hey, Ross.
Hey, Tim.
For the ElevenLabs, is there because they've got a number of different packages, is there one that we need to be on?
That is a good question. I don't know the answer to that yet. I'm assuming it would be one of their paid ones that allows you to get the API key. We'll get more information on that in the documentation, especially when we get that out. All right, next quick thing I wanted to mention is just a quick example on custom functions. We are getting a lot of interest and a lot of people are making a good amount of money with these custom functions very, very quickly because they're now able to say yes to these things that customers are asking for. So I'm going to show a quick example here, and we got a quick question first. The analytics for WhatsApp. How do we determine end conversation right now for WhatsApp? That is a good question. Tim, do you know how we end that with WhatsApp right now? Is it just on the new conversation?
Are you talking about ending the conversation?
For WhatsApp specifically, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was the same stop keyword. I honestly haven't tried it yet, but we'll find out.
So for now, it would be the stop keywords within the human handoff that would stop the conversation. One of the things that we will be adding shortly is your ability to set when a conversation is ended, regardless of integration or where the AI agent is having the conversation. So for example, you could set it, I want the conversations to be ended after there is no response from a user after X minutes. And you could put in like 15 minutes, for example. And we'll probably like default it to like 5 or 10 minutes or something, but that will be a thing that you can set, and then that will be applied so that way it knows that there's a new conversation happening. All right. And then yeah, so the custom functions thing is quite exciting. And one of the ones that I've been getting quite a few DMs on specifically is the Shopify one. I made a full video tutorial about this, but I wanted to just give a 60 second kind of overview, and then kind of hopefully that will bring up any questions that people might have, because this is how you can essentially do anything with these AI agents. If you need to call a database, get more information, take action, whatever it may be. With this specific example, with Shopify, we are asking the AI agent to not only send data, but we're trying to get data back. And basically what that means is we need some way for code to be executed. And I'm going to walk through this quickly. So there's a conversation with a user and an AI agent. We're all familiar with what that looks like. The AI agent doesn't inherently have information about tracking order information or availability of products within a Shopify store. In order to make sure that we have this agent to be able to access that data, we need to create a little bit of code that will connect with your Shopify store. And the way Shopify works is you need to create a custom app. Once you create this custom app, you can connect it to Shopify permissions. Now, if you're already being like, oh my gosh, this seems like super crazy and complicated, I figured this out with ChatGPT in about 40 minutes. And this was the prompt that I used. And I'll be sending all of this in the Discord. So the goal of this is not only I want to show you guys how this specific example works, I'd like to relay the information of how I've been able to create a lot of these custom functions very quickly and easily. All I'm doing is I'm going into ChatGPT and I'm saying, hey, I need to create a custom function for my AI agent that does X, Y, and Z. And for example, with Shopify, I can say, hey, ChatGPT, I want it to integrate with Shopify API because ChatGPT has all of the documentation about Shopify. So it can tell you, go here, this is how you get your API, this is how you enable everything. It will also be able to generate the code that runs itself in a platform called Replit. And Replit is a cheap and easy platform to use to run and execute this code. If you're not familiar with code or running code, neither really am I, but that's the benefit of using all these AI tools is it walks you through the exact process. And in my videos and examples, I show that you can literally take screenshots of Stammer where you can create these custom functions. It will be able to tell you exactly what to do and what to enter in. So if you go into the lab section, you can see I've got a couple different custom functions here. One that can get order tracking, one that can get availability of a product. And this is essentially all that the custom function is. Anything else that you can add or you want to add, you can put in here as needed. So high level, what this does is it allows the AI agent to say, hey, code, I want to get custom information from my Shopify store. It then gets that information from Shopify, and then it brings it back and then sends it back to the AI agent where it can then formulate it and send it as a response. So to a user, they could be like, hey, I want to track my order. And if they don't know what their order number is, they could put in something like their email address. Shopify will be able to take their email address, search for it, find their tracking information, give the tracking link, which is the native link from Shopify that show, oh, it left Missouri, now it's in Canada or whatever. And vice versa, if you want to get inventory of a product. Now, these are two very specific examples related to questions that people have actually asked me and be like, hey, can you build a custom function for this or that? This is how you do it. All the code is available for free. You can copy and paste the prompt, the instructions, everything is for free. There's a link to my YouTube channel in the notes. You guys can click on that link. It's like within the last 3 videos that I posted. I can just show you. It's this one right here, Shopify AI agent. All of the information that you want, you can copy and paste it and duplicate it. It's all in this video, 16 minutes, and you can go crazy. Now, there have been some other questions that people have asked related to this. How do we access other databases? Or, for example, like a Google Sheet. The flow is the exact same. You want to be able to have the code, get data, and then return it back. You can also just send data to do actions. And you could do that with something more like with Zapier. So, for example, if you want an AI to be able to do something, you can just have a Zapier webhook be enabled, and that can send data directly to the Zapier, and then you can kind of do anything with the Zapier. I feel like I'm losing some of you, so I'm going to stop talking. Tim, is there anything that you want to add on that? I know
No, the only thing I want to say is, the only thing I do want to say is that if you do have a kind of more complex integration that, you can't seem to use AI or you're not really sure how to use AI to do it, then definitely reach out to us. It's probably easiest to reach out to us through the Discord and like DM me or just start chatting with us in the general chat and let me know what you're trying to do. We do have an amazing dev shop that we work with, and we may be able to put you in touch with them if the use case makes sense and it is possible.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do anything. I have nothing. I don't want to do anything with that. We are starting to build these out for some agencies who are then pretty much immediately flipping them for 2-3x profit. So if you guys are like, hey, I want to get a custom function, but I'm not sure how to do any of that stuff, you can go to this page, Stammer.ai/custom functions, and either book a meeting, and this will go to my calendar actually, and we can discuss the complexity of your custom function, of what it may be, and we can figure out how much that might cost to build and a timeline for how long it would take in order for you to then turn around and sell it to your customers. The good thing is a lot of this stuff is relatively easy once you figure out the theme or the flow. And that's what I've been trying to showcase in my video tutorials. It's the same exact flow every time. It just depends on what it is that you want it to do. Alrighty, so I think that will bring us right into general Q&A. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat or just start talking and say that you have a question and we'll get to you.
Maybe a quick question to kick off there, Ross. Thanks,
hey.
by the way. That looks excellent. Really excited about the custom functions. My question, though, on a bit of a different mode, I have one project which is going to require that we're able to kind of save the chat in essentially we're building an AI bot that's going to be able to scan a big bunch of different products and basically put together quotes. And this is more of a tool for the internal sales team than it is for putting together a quote for a client or anything. So they have quite a long kind of sales lifetime, or however you want to put it, where it could be 2-3 months down the line, they need to go back and find that conversation and maybe build on it a little bit more. Is that something that's kind of available now? Is there any way I could go about building that? Do you know?
So like more of kind of like a ChatGPT like interface where you can go back to a past conversation. Not currently available today. We do have plans on our roadmap to release what we're calling Master Chat, which is going to be that type of interface. Voice and some of these other things and analytics have taken precedence, so that's why we've been focused on those. But Master Chat is on our roadmap for this year, so that is something to keep an eye out for.
Can we dive into that a bit more? So what are the sales people doing exactly? They want to see prior conversations with customers that occurred in the chatbot. Is that what it is?
No, they want to look back at so they might activate one chat for each client, for example.
I see. Okay.
The whole knowledge base is, say, all the different brochures, all of the different products they have. They're a printing and signage company. So they have a huge amount of, this product can be used with this, with this, with that. And all of those questions are just getting escalated to management. So we're looking at how can it build out quotes and how can it say, can it say this is compatible with this and that with that?
Yeah, this is perfect use case for a custom function, to be honest. You need code to be written that does the logic that you're describing, and it becomes a tool, right, that the AI agent can call, just like in Ross's video, and it just gets the output, if that makes sense.
So slightly different, Tim, what he's saying. There could be a way where information is stacked in a conversation for that specific client, and that could have a variable with answers. So the bot could ask questions and, this is what the person wants. Then from what you're saying, a couple months or weeks later, they could come back and be like, hey, the client actually wants this. Now I need a new quote or a new price.
Yeah.
Generally, right?
Yeah. So like the way I could see it working now, which isn't particularly user friendly, is if they went and copied and pasted in the old conversation back into the chat to kind of reactivate it. To kind of like I don't know if it needs a custom function. Maybe it does, but to just kind of call up information from the knowledge base and add things together, essentially.
Yeah, that can all be done natively without a custom function. The custom function piece where I think where you could take this is if it's trying to generate or calculate like math or a quote or something like that. So other examples that we've been working on has been like, how do we create a ballpark quote for someone who's trying to, mulch their yard or something like that. And it has to take in inputs and then it calls information from the knowledge base to be like, okay, this is how it's being, this is how it works. Where the custom function comes in is instead of having the AI or with a prompt, say, you need to add this number to this number, then divide by this. We take that piece and rip it out and put it into a custom function. And this allows it to be stable as an equation. So that way it knows the correct inputs and it always knows what output to give. From your scenario, it doesn't seem like that necessarily might be needed.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like it would almost be more hassle because they have so many machines doing so many different things. I feel like it would almost be far too much hassle to write a full algorithm for this affects Y, and if Y is 6 inches rather than 3 inches, and yada yada. It could be a lot more hassle to write an actual whole algorithm.
Yeah. So another possibility could be the way that we are going to set up the end, like when a conversation is ended. In theory, you could set that to be like 1,000 minutes, and then there would be conversations that are just open for X amount of time for the users, until we get this master chat feature out.
Okay. Yeah, I get you. No, cool. No, that's interesting though. Thanks a million.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and for everyone else, the relationship of the knowledge base to the AI agent is always static in the sense that it's only going to be pulling from one place, and that's the knowledge base. Any other information outside that we're talking about with custom functions is completely separate. So all the information that you want to scrape from your website or you put in as Q&A, this is always going to be used by the AI agent, always, like regardless if you're trying to run a custom function or not. So it's always best to start with your knowledge base, get everything loaded into your knowledge base first, and then start working on your custom functions after that. Custom functions is an advanced feature of AI. And these AI agents, you're literally having the AI run custom code. So that's why we're trying to help people out as much as with this, because it can be a little confusing. Again, ChatGPT is our friend in these scenarios. And for my testing, actually, I was using Claude and ChatGPT. Claude always was giving me not the best information, which is kind of weird because in marketing world, it seems like Claude is the poster child of code creation or code generation right now. For this specific scenario and these tests, I recommend using ChatGPT, but to each their own. So for the other people that just joined, I'll do just a quick little recap. If there's any last questions that people might have, please feel free to put it in the chat. We've got 2 updates coming. One is going to be the summary analytics, which will allow you to send all of the data via an email or via webhook. And the second update is we're going to have ElevenLabs, which allows you to create custom AI voices, and then those AI voices can be added to any AI chatbot for users to interact with. These 2 features should be coming out in our update later today. So I think that'll do it for today's office hours. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
This guy's great work.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Great. Thank you.
Cheers.
See you.